record. Now being recorded, so we should pray to the Lord. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Chaline Nivasisha Sunyavadi Pashtatadastadine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Right, so let me share my screen. And I was doing a bit of preparation beforehand because we haven't read for quite some time. So I wanted to kind of get an idea of where we left off. So let's just share the screen. And we left off on chapter 3 of part 2 and texts 167 to 177. So the same as yesterday, what I thought I would do, because today we're starting on text 178. So I'm going to read the verses from 166 up to 177. So we get an idea of where we left off, because I'm sure not many of us can remember. Basically, in essence, it's the Vaikuntha Dutas, as far as I can understand. They are glorifying the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Yeah. And with wonderful verses. So let's read that up to 177. Then we can read together as usual. Okay. So 166 reads as follows. According to some knowers of rasa, the real sign of a person full of prema is this. As he performs sankirtan of the name he worships, the full force of spiritual agony erupts in him by the weight of his own love. So here you go. You've heard of agony before. So there's spiritual agony. Yeah, which is spiritual emotions in relationship to Krishna. Generally, that would be feelings of avripalamba bhav, separation. Having contacted Krishna, one then feels separation from him. And just remembering that this discussion, they're discussing the merits of smaranam and kirtanam, of meditation or remembering the Lord through meditation, and a comparison's been made with chanting the holy name of the Lord. And it's being established that chanting is the greater a means for obtaining Krishna prema. Right, so Nitai Mata's just joined us. So we're just reading through the verses up to where we left off last month. All right, so any questions as we're reading, or any clarifications, please feel free to ask. So, yeah, spiritual agony. I'm just looking for the Sanskrit for agony. Prema Harasya. It doesn't say, actually, not the word agony in the agony. Spuruti means the Lord's manifestation. All right, anyway, let's read on. So,
distress, artya, distress.
Oh, stress, you saw it, yeah?
The last word.
The last word, yeah, thank you, yeah.
Artya, with distress, maybe that one?
Yeah, thank you. So, spruti comes before that. That's when the Lord manifests, yeah? That's a sudden manifestation of the presence of the Lord. Spruti opens up. So, Ada, one is in great spiritual agony. 167. Like the distressed crying of a chakata birds on the cloudless day of the rainy season. Now, a chakata bird is often used in Vaishnava poetry, especially by the Goswamis. And it's an interesting bird because it only drinks water from rain clouds, from the rain that's falling from the clouds. So that's why it's saying it's distressed because there's a cloudless day. I would like to see that in action one day. Okay. or the lamenting of a flock of Chakravaki birds when parted from their husbands at night. The Sankirtan of the Lord's names arises when one is burdened by too much pain. All right. Tempted to read the purple, but that. Again, great spiritual emotion. Yeah. So spiritual emotion is not just happiness. Another flavor of spiritual emotion, which is joyful, is actually distress. It takes some understanding. So another flavor of ecstasy is actually distress, burdened by too much pain. So I can't resist but read this little purple, try and understand what's being explained. So Nam Sankirtan in fact appears only when prema has been enhanced in a special way. Prema enriched with transcendental hankering results in Sankirtan. Yeah, just like the gopis when Krishna disappeared from their mists, then what did they do? Kirtan. They started speaking about Krishna. Yeah, transcendental hankering. To help us understand the Vaikuntha Dutas mentioned by way of analogy, the Chakataka and Chakravarti birds, the plaintive call of the Chatakas sounded like Priya, Priya, my dear one, resounds on the cloudless days of the rainy season. And the lament of the Chakravakis fills the sky when their husbands are absent at night. In such a way, Nam Sankirtan arises when one feels separation from the Lord in pure love of God, right? So that's real Sankirtan, when one is feeling separation from the Lord. And the only means to relieve that is to chant his holy name. Yeah. 168. This wonderfully varied sweetness of Sankirtan emerges only by a mercy shown in various wonderful ways by the Lord. The wonderful ocean of the varied rasas of pastimes, this sweetness one can never truly achieve by one's own endeavor. All right, so we go from agony to sweetness here. 169. As the worshippers of the Lord desire, by the chanting of the holy names, they see spiritual reactions.
Prabhu,
Please, yes.
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Sorry, Prabhu. I was thinking, Prabhu, so, chanting is like serving in separation.
Chanting is? Say that once more.
Chanting, chanting is even our japa or chanting is, of course, we are asking for service, but again, it is serving in separation.
Yeah, that's the underlying bhava seva. That's the mood in which we should be chanting in, of being separated from the Lord.
Yeah, as per this para, that's what I understood.
Yeah, right? And that we've discussed in our readings of the Sankabhaka Mudi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the underlying mood which we need to develop. Feelings of separation. Yeah. As the worshippers of the Lord's desire, by the chanting of his holy names, they see their sinful reactions dwindle to nothing, even the reactions they are about to suffer. And when other people somehow chant his names, they need suffer only that part of their karma already manifest. So that's put up the karma, I would presume. Yeah, it says here at the end. These must be suffered, and by that suffering, their prarabdha karma is depleted. All right. So all the diseases we get, all the ailments we get that are in relationship to this body, they're not necessarily going to disappear. That's prarabdha karma. Although the idea is that we're so absorbed in Krishna, these pains of the body will not disturb us so much, but still they'll be there. Prarabdha karma. Okay, 170. The great souls who spontaneously serve the names of Lord Hari fear to reveal the vast treasures of his confidential devotional service. So they behave in peculiar ways to show their own faults and unhappiness. All right. Let me read this purport as well. What about advanced worshippers like Bharat Maharaj, whose impending simple reactions apparently kept going on? We should understand that when saintly devotees like Bharat, deeply absorbed in the moods of loving service to the Lord, seem to exhibit material attachment, as when Bharat became obsessed with the care of a fawn, and when they seem to fall into bad association and miserable conditions, as when Bharat took his next birth as an animal, they are only pretending to be materially affected in order to keep the confidential moods of devotional service hidden from public view. Such devotees would rather be treated with undeserved contempt than honored and worshipped. All right, so this is a mood of a devotee, and it's the complete opposite to someone who is a sahajiya, where they may not be exhibiting this level of ecstasy, but they imitate it to attract attention to themselves. Where devotees, real devotees, do the opposite. They hide it and act like ordinary persons. Yeah. So they do the exact opposite. All right. All the devotees of the Lord are freed from contamination and misery simply by the Sankirtan of his names. Yet some devotees, as disturbed by compassion as the Lord himself, act in these ways to teach people civilized behavior. Okay, let's get to 177. Okay. As Bharat and others showed the fault of bad association, Yudhishthira and others the fault of gambling, and Nriga and others the fear caused by taking a Brahman's property, pure souls generally use their own behavior to teach the people. 173. By the power of bhakti, you will have many realizations, time and again, and for certain you will conquer your most formidable obstacles. In all circumstances, be assured, we are your helpers. That's very reassuring, isn't it? We have lots of help. The greatest mercy of Sri Krishna Chandra we have found is firmly established in you. So to speak, now directly to Gopakumar, because even the arguments of the residents of Tapaloka could not dissolve your eagerness to see in person the Supreme Lord. 175. The form of the personality of Godhead, absolute real, is the concentrated essence of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Only with senses that are fit can one perceive that Satchit Ananda form. Yet by the power of the Lord's mercy, even with the present eyes, quickly one can see it. Thus one beholds the object most suitable for one's vision. One achieves this by the Lord's mercy or even by one's own endeavor. 176. Even though one's vision of the Lord has its origin in the eye of knowledge, one may think, I am seeing him with my two eyes. This simply indicates the power of Krishna's mercy, by which the devotee feels his own special joy unfold. Then 177. Then someone can get ready for reading 178. By the force of the vast mercy of the Lord, or by the natural influence of devotional service, one can see him. So even with limited eyes, one can achieve the constant vision one may have with the mind in meditation. Yeah, I'm starting to remember now from where we left off reading a month ago. All right, 178. Here we begin. Hare Krishna. So let's have someone read. Just the translation we're reading.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If my internet is not good, then I will stop it, Prabhu.
Fine now. We can hear you.
Thank you, Prabhu. If this was, were not so, by no means would one be able to see the self-effulgent supreme controller, even within the mind. When the Lord is worshipped in any manner, he bestows intense happiness, for he is the very embodiment of such happiness. Commentary. If the Lord's special mercy and the potency of devotional service were not the true causes of realizing him, even a mental vision of him would be impossible, for he is self-manifesting, never an object of sensory or mental perception. Because he is the completely independent controller of everyone, no one can force him to reveal himself. A proponent of inner meditation may argue that by perceiving the Lord internally, the mind with its unlimited scope enjoys unlimited bliss, whereas the limited eyes can perceive only a small fraction of such pleasure. But the Vaikuntha Dutas reply that when devotees worship the personality of Godhead by any of the methods of devotional service, whether by mental meditation or by the direct perception and activity of the external senses, the Lord bestows intense happiness. In fact, according to the Tattariya Upanishad 2.7, boundless pleasure is the very nature of the Supreme. Raso vaisa rasam hai evyam labda vanadi bhavati. The Supreme is rasa itself. When a living being obtains this rasa, he becomes blissful. Oh, this is amazing. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So any curiosities here, any questions? So again, it's bringing up the argument of smaranam. Generally, we think of smaranam, I think it's, you could say it's the Shanta Bhakta. They're engaged in meditation. Normally it's on the super soul, or it may be Krishna. So there's no, so the argument they're giving is that superior than actually seeing the Lord with one's eyes. But actually, what's being brought out here is that any of the practices of bhakti. So we have 9, isn't it? Angas of pure devotion. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Shmaranam, Parasevanam, Achanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Any of those, then the devotee is blessed with great bliss by the grace of the Lord. Yeah, with intense happiness in the perfectional stages. Yeah. I think that's what he's saying. Whether by mental meditation or by direct perception of activity of the external senses. Yeah. So that's why we don't sit down and meditate all day, 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours. We actually do things for Krishna, inspired by the ecstasy or the happiness of devotional service. Then we like to serve Krishna, yeah, with our external senses. Right.
I remember reading this when Gokumar went to, was it the 4 Kumaras?
Yeah.
Everybody was just sitting down, just meditating, and he was a bit lost. In,
Yeah, that's in Tapaloka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tapaloka. Yeah.
Yeah. So that wasn't. It was very attractive to begin with, but then Gopakumar soon got devotionally restless and moved on from that abode. And I was hearing from the Vaikuntha Dutas. Yeah. All right. Let's continue following the journey of Gopakumar. So you can read there's no more. We can read a couple of verses each, 2 or 3 verses, so you can continue reading them, my mata. I think that's how we do it here. 179. You still there, Nitai Mata?
Yes, Prabhu. Haribol, thank you.
Sorry. You can read again.
Okay. We everywhere find that by seeing the Lord with the eyes, one one achieves his mercy in all the forms, and the most intense and excellent joy. Indeed, to see him is the goal of hearing and of all the other ways of devotional practice. Commentary. Superior to the fruits of realizing the Lord inwardly are the fruits of seeing the Lord with one's own eyes. Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas record how Vaishnavas like oh my God, I can't see Prabhu, sorry, Kardama and Prahlada received abundant mercy from the Supreme Lord when they met him in person. On Tapaloka, the sage Pipalayana told Gopakumara about Sri Brahmas attaining similar mercy from the Lord through meditation. But that kind of success from meditation occurs in only few instances for a rare, fortunate person like Brahma. And the Vaikuntha messengers declare, besides that, the joy felt from directly perceiving the personality of Godhead with one's senses is unequaled. This complete vision gained by devotional service in the forms of hearing, chanting, remembering, and so on is also the ultimate fruit of the devotional service performed by inward meditation.
Okay, so this is known as Shakshat Darshan, where the Lord actually appears to your quote unquote material eyes or senses. He appears in your room. He appears before one. And whenever Krishna appears, then the whole Goloka appears. He never appears on his own. Yeah. Then it's given an example of Brahma, who he saw the Lord within his meditation. Yeah.
That is for creation, isn't it, Prabhu?
Yeah, there's a whole wonderful story about that. Yeah. So before, in a couple of verses before, it was being declared that meditation is better than seeing the Lord with one's eyes. But no. Actually, seeing the Lord manifests before one. And there's many examples of that in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's given.
Yes.
Kadamba is an interesting example because he was meditating. He wasn't a pure devotee.
Yeah.
He was meditating with a desire to obtain a wife.
Yeah.
That's why he was meditating. But because he was so sincere in his devotional endeavor, although it was mixed, because he was so sincere and so determined, that the Lord was pleased to appear before Kadama and actually bless him, by dint of his sincere practice. And as we know, Prahlad, he didn't only appear to Prahlad as Lord Nrsingadev, but he would appear to Prahlad. Actually, he would appear to Prahlad. The Lord would appear to Prahlad. It's described in the Bhagavatam that sometimes Prahlad would feel the embrace of the Lord. Yeah, and he would go into ecstasy and dance in wild abandon. Yeah, but anyway, hopefully that will happen to us. One day we're sitting in our little bed, sitting in a little flat, chanting Hare Krishna, trying to think of Krishna. Then all of a sudden, Krishna will manifest there. And that's at that point we will attain bhava. From that point on, then Krishna won't stay. Krishna will unmanifest. And what's the one thing that the devotees left thinking about when the Lord becomes unmanifest, if the Lord appears before one?
Then separation.
Yeah, they just think they just in great separation. And you read that as well. Madhavendra Puri, he saw the Lord, isn't it? The Lord came to him. Bilva Mangala Thakur, he came to him.
Yeah.
And there's at that point, the devotees become completely purified. Dhruva Maharaj, the Lord appeared before him, and just by that vision, he attained perfection. Yeah. So the Lord can and does appear before a devotee's eyes. Yeah.
But they're great personalities, not like me.
Well, why not? You're a devotee. You're chanting his name. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Ask him.
All right.
Just come and put your hand on my head.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
It's good. It's good. It's good that we can hear of these, and then we can desire in our own small way. We can desire for such perfections. But our main thing is, what's that Bhaktisiddhanta said? Act in such a way
That Lord can see you.
that the Lord wants to see you. So let's keep that in mind. We're engaged in the Lord's service, loving service, and He may feel by His grace, then He may appear before us. But aslisya pada panasto mamadasana mam korotava. But whether you appear before me or make me broken-hearted, you are still my worshipful Lord, birth after birth. That's our meditation. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he puts his hand on you, all those anarthas is gone, and then you can just completely be absorbed in him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just to get rid of all the junk, which is hard to get rid of.
Yes. So you can desire that while you're chanting, Krishna, Krishna, please, please come.
Yesterday we talked about we don't ask him to do anything. We have to do things.
Yeah, that's the point as well. Yeah, yeah. Let's
don't ask him to do anything. And even when we meditate on Radha only or not, but it's always Radha and Krishna. We should always see them.
You do as you please.
Yeah, that's it. But it's interesting meditation because although the devotee still within his heart of hearts, he or she would relish or desire actual darshan of the Lord, but it's not a demand. It's not a demand that they have. They're just happy serving the Lord, but still, it's something which devotee may desire.
Can it be an impulse thought?
A what?
Impulse.
It will be impulse.
Impulse?
Impulse. It will be like sudden impulse.
Yeah, she's saying impulse.
I couldn't hear the word.
Impulse. Like
impulse.
Impulse without planning, impulse.
Yeah, without planning. Yeah, that's Krishna is very good at that. Just when you're least expecting his mercy, then it rains down.
Yeah.
That makes you appreciate it even more.
I give you, now we were talking about like Krishna can appear anywhere. Anyway, so now I was to Prashad and we have to wash our plates. And then I was just going and another gentleman, devotee said to me, oh, can you wash my plate? And I was like, to run away, there was, this is really not nice. There's mother and daughter that I didn't, at that time, I didn't want to talk because it was Ekadashi and I had
waste time.
I didn't want to waste half an hour just chatting. So I just went away. And then later on when I was chanting, I realized I should have washed his plate. It could be there.
Yeah.
And
Vaishnava.
like I want to run to do whatever I want to do, or I wanted to avoid wasting half an hour, But so I felt bad. But I don't know which way is better. To not waste that half an hour or wash the plate.
Anyway, difficult to say. It's time, place, and circumstance.
Yeah. But I felt bad. I felt really bad all day afterwards. The next day I felt bad. Anyway.
Right, let's read on a bit. Let's text 180. And anyone else would like to read? You can please feel free.
Yeah, I can read.
Go ahead, Mama. Just
Okay, text 180. By all methods of spiritual discipline, seeing the Lord in person is the true reward to be attained. That alone destroys illusion down to the root, so that pure love of God may flourish. Commentary. The direct vision of Lord Vishnu, being the supreme fruit of all endeavors, is preferable even to realization of the Lord by meditation. In fact, when one sees the Lord directly, one's forgetfulness of him, which is the root of all illusion, is destroyed. This is described in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 1-21. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the Lord as master. The entanglements of material work, the doubts and confusions of material consciousness, and the knots of material desire all encumber the conditioned soul. But when he again finds his dearmost friend, the Supreme Soul, he transcends all these anomalies. When one perceives the beauty and charm of Prema for Lord Vishnu, the natural urge of pure love spontaneously arises in one's heart.
Okay. So very powerful just by that appearance of the Lord before one immediately comes to a level of power. Yeah, all the chains of material existence is finished at that point, just by that darshan. Yes. Any other questions, comments? We can. Okay, one Ekam just coming in. It's quite a good show, isn't it? Of devotees we're here today because it's 12:30 there in UK, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, carry on, Mother. One.
Although devotees like Prahlad, the son of Kayadu, saw the Lord in their hearts, they always yearned to see him with their eyes. For this, the proof is that when they finally saw him, they felt special ecstasies. Okay. Commentary. The experiences of Prahlad and other great devotees should be taken seriously because sadachar, the behavior of elevated persons, is important evidence for judging what is of true value. According to the Sri Hari Bhakti Sudodaya, it was after Prahlad first saw Lord Nrsimha that Prahlad's pure love fully blossomed.
All right, so here's a little answer to what we were just discussing just then. The son of Kayadu, Prahlad, he saw the Lord in their hearts, but they always yearned to see him with their eyes. So we cannot deny that, isn't it? Okay, we're trying to develop the mentality of serving the Lord, regardless of whether he appears or not. But still, it would be nice. It would be nice if the Lord appeared. So within our hearts, they always yearn. We can have that yearning within. That Londonishwar appear personally to us, or our worshipful deity. Hare Krishna. Continue, Mother, on 182.
182. When some devotees, even while seeing Krishna in person, close their eyes and appears to withdraw into their minds, this may seem to be meditation, but in fact it is not. Rather, it is a transformation brought on by excessive joy, like the trembling and other signs of ecstasy in devotees in pure love. Commentary. This verse answers the possible objection that when Sanaka Kumar and his brothers met the Lord of Vaikuntha, they went into a trance of meditation, as described by Maitreya Muni in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 3:15-44. The Lord's beautiful face appeared to them like the inside of a blue lotus, and the Lord's smile appeared like a blossoming jasmine. After seeing the face of the Lord, the sages were fully satisfied, and when they wanted to see him further, they looked upon the nails of his lotus feet, which resembled rubies. Thus they viewed the Lord's transcendental body again and again, and so they finally achieved meditation on the Lord's personal feature. In this verse, the word nid adyu, from the verb nidai, to meditate deeply, seems to indicate that when the Kumaras saw the Lord, they passively withdrew into meditative contemplation. But as the Vaikuntha Dutas point out, we should not judge simply from the outward appearance of these symptoms. Closing of the eyes and ceasing from bodily movements need not be signs of meditative trance. They may instead be physical expressions of bhavas, devotional ecstasies similar to other physical signs of ecstasy, like trembling, perspiration, and standing up of the bodily hair. Maitreya Muni described the ecstasy of the Kumaras as meditation only because it seemed so externally. Therefore, the superiority of directly seeing the Lord with one's own eyes stands undefeated.
All right. So don't be misled if we happen to see a devotee, a great devotee, or here they close their eyes. It doesn't mean that they're favoring smaranam rather than seeing the physical, quote, spiritual presence of the Lord. Yeah, if they do close their eyes, it's a symptom of ecstasy. Yeah, a symptom of symptom of ecstasy.
So devotees close their eyes in kirtan quite a lot. Not falling asleep, but I find that I like to close my eyes during kirtan and listen to the holy name. Sometimes it helps.
Yeah, that's perhaps a little bit different. It can often help meditation. Like I'm in the habit of closing my eyes when I chant japa. It just helps me to concentrate. Yeah, it helps to focus on one's inner vision, so to speak. Yeah. In kirtan, well, especially if you can close your eyes in kirtan, but be careful, you're going to bump into a few devotees.
I mean, sitting down, sitting.
Oh, sitting down, yeah. Bhajan type kirtan.
Yeah.
It's good to do that because sometimes I think it can aid our meditation because when our eyes are open, sometimes it can be a distraction. We look to the left and there's this devotee we know who look to the right and we're looking around and we're looking at different devotees, a different expression on their faces, and we're not really absorbed in the holy name. So we can just shut the doors down, close the eyes, and it's just you and the sound vibration.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Even say the deities like say Krishna, Radhalanishwar, you can like see his face and then you close your eyes and you can just see him within,
Yeah, that's a good practice as well. That's nice to do. Yeah.
Like anyway, like the Mahamantra outfit with the Mahamantra.
Yeah, know it very well.
Yes. So when you chant, you can you see Hare Krishnas and Hare Ramas, and you can meditate on that outfit dress with Krishna.
Yeah, this is the idea. This is the idea of dressing the deities very beautifully and very attractively, and in a nice way, so that devotees can take darshan. They can take a picture in their heart, and while they're going about their activities in a day, it's good to try and recall that darshan that you had. It's a good practice, Okay, it may not be spruti. It's not as if the Lord is appearing in our meditation. We are using our material faculties of memory to bring the remembrance of the Lord into our mind. But that's good. That's called smaranam. Yeah. Yeah. But it's called, yeah. Any other questions about this? But it's just confirming that, the darshan of the Lord.
So with the holy name, we meditate on the holy name, which is Krishna.
Yeah.
So
it's more than Krishna. So we can understand.
Yes. So, I mean, if you're actually really, really attached to the Maha Mantra, then you may not even want to see the Lord directly. Would that be okay?
Well, and when we're discussing the tap of the holy name, because it's non-different, you are seeing Krishna.
Yeah.
You are actually having darshan in more advanced nam bhajan, and actually darshan of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. It all unfolds from meditating upon the name. Yeah, so you are actually seeing Krishna. Sometimes the ecstasy for devotees of Nam Bhajan is more than seeing the form of the Lord as in the deity.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you may be more absorbed in the holy name because it's very merciful. And you may not be so absorbed when you're looking at the deity of the Lord. Yeah. Because the holy name is very more merciful than Krishna himself. So Krishna is fully present there. It's just a case of purification and subsequent realization. So it's not exactly they don't want to see the Lord, because they are seeing the Lord.
Yes. Yeah.
They're seeing him through the medium of sound. And that's how Krishna is manifest in this age. He's manifest in sound. And the purer that sound can be, then the more of him that you can actually realize.
Yeah, Prabhu,
Yes.
so even in front of the deities, when you are chanting, it's not always that you want to look. You just, after some time, you are just not looking at the deities, but you are but more concentrated. Is that right, Prabhu? You know.
Yeah,
You
that's
can.
actual.
You
Yeah,
know.
I think we read that. I think it's in Sudha Bhakti Chintamani. Maharaj speaks about that.
Yeah.
That you got two. You can either open your eyes and look at the deity, but when you close your eyes and bring the thoughts, as Mother Chandravali was saying, you bring the memory of that darshan with your eyes closed. It's more. It can be more absorbing.
More absorb. Yeah.
Than actually
just
opening
looking.
your eyes and seeing the Lord. You could try it. You could actually.
Yeah, it is. It is, Prabhu. Yeah. That I wanted to understand whether it is okay like that. That's why sometimes I feel, oh, Lord is in front of me. I'm closing my eyes. Oh, isn't that's not good? You know, I sometimes wonder.
No, you're closing your eyes to further enhance your thinking of Krishna.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's Vaishnavas generally, if I remember rightly, that Vaishnavas generally prefer that. Occasionally you can open your eyes, but then you close your eyes and you can chanting the holy name, hearing the sound, you know. And then by the grace of that meditation on the sound, if it's done in great humility and great longing, then spontaneous thoughts of the Lord's form, name, form, qualities, and then pastimes will actually manifest. Yeah. So yeah, everything's there in the name. Yeah.
I was something else I wanted to ask. You know, in the temple room, we have the board where the Mahamantra is written up, green with yellow.
Yeah.
So like the other day I was thinking, I was like, I just went into that kind of chanting, like eyes closed, but I was reading Mahamantra. You know, when we're reading, we read loudly and we hear.
Yeah.
Right. So then I was like, my eyes closed and I was reading those mantras, like I was chanting, but I was looking at that, reading and hearing. Is that wrong?
No, that's right. Who's it? Who's that Acharya? I think is
I
Das
was trying to do it, and it's really good. But I wanted to confirm whether it's.
Yeah, Gorgashodas Babaji speaks of that. I'm going to get it right. He speaks that darshan of the Lord. One was asking about how to have darshan of the Lord, and then because he can't write anyway. He just pointed to the sign of the Mahamantra. So yeah, you can do that. Basically, it's good to do. That's good to do to make sure we're chanting all the name and we're chanting all the syllables.
Yeah, actually, yes.
That
came from a class I was listening at the manor. Yes.
Yeah. What? Excuse me. Whatever it may take to enhance your absorption and meditation, whether it's looking at the deities, that may help, or whether it's closing your eyes, even if in front of the deities, to be more concentrated, that may help. Or it's by looking at the Maha Mantra with open eyes, If that's going to help, do it. If by thinking of the Maha Mantra within your mind with eyes closed, then do it. Somehow or another, get absorbed in the holy name, whatever it may take. And from my experience, I have to employ many different methods to try and break in to some type of meditation. Break in's the wrong word. But you can try many different, we should be trying, we should be look for that situation, that means by which we can, of course, we are dependent upon Krishna. So sometimes no matter what you try, you will still find yourself being distracted, excuse me. But still we keep on, still we're stubborn, we keep on chanting. And then by Krishna's grace, then it may become a little bit easier, that meditation on the sound or thereof, his quality and pastimes, So we're always dependent on Krishna, but we should make it known that we want to be absorbed in his holy name. Yeah, make it known to Krishna. Keep banging on the door till Krishna lets us in somehow or another. Yeah. And we have to do that every day. Okay, next day, same thing again. Next day, same thing again. Keep banging on the door. Let me in, let me in. Yeah. And Krishna sees us, if he sees us continually trying every day, we're desirous of that absorption in him, then he will bless us. Yeah. Sometimes we will become quite ecstatic and we'll be out in the meditation. Maharaj speaks of trance in the Sankalpa Kaumudi, I think, about the glories of trance, where devotees go into a trance where they forget their own body, they forget the time of the day, they forget where they are, and they open their eyes and they're reminded of where they are. Only when they open their eyes. Yeah. Let's hope for such absorption. Anything else in this point? All right, these are really nice verses, isn't it? And a nice
really
purpose as well. It's all about chanting.
And this is Vishnu Dutas giving the.
Sorry?
These are Vishnu Dutas speaking.
Yeah, as far as I remember, it's a Vishnu Duta speaking to
Kumar.
Yeah. Okay, so Mavalabanga, you can continue reading 183.
Yeah. Meditation makes sense when the Supreme Lord cannot be seen, not when he is directly present. But Sankirtan is always befitting, whether the Lord is visible or not. Commentary. Drawing the argument to a close on an especially sweet note, Madhurena Samapayet, the messengers of Vaikuntha reiterate the importance of Nam Sankirtan. Seeing the Supreme Lord with one's own eyes is more desirable than merely seeing him in meditation, and the best means of achieving direct vision of him is to chant his holy names. There you go.
Yeah.
The behavior of all kinds of devotees of the Lord gives ample evidence that in every situation Sankirtan is appropriate. For example, as described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33.7, the gopis of Vrindavan chanted his names while dancing with him in their Rasa Leela.
Just read the translation of it.
Yeah, there it is. As the gopis sang in praise of Krishna, their feet danced, their hands gestured, and their eyebrows moved with playful smiles. With their braids and belts tied tight, their waists bending, their faces perspiring, and garments on their breasts moving this way and that, and their earrings swinging on their cheeks, Lord Krishna's young consorts shone like streaks of lightning in
a mass of clouds.
a mass of clouds. This is also described in Sri Vishnu Purana 5.13.52. Krishna sang about the glories of the autumn moon, whose beams awaken the night blooming lotuses. Meanwhile, the gopis simply chanted Krishna's name over and over again. Krishna sang a Rasa Leela song, his voice becoming louder and louder. In response, the gopis sang twice as loud, "Wonderful, O Krishna, O Krishna." The 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam tells of several instances in which devotees chant Krishna's glories in his absence, as in the prayers sung by the gopis before the Rasa dance, chapter 31, and after Krishna disappeared from the dance, chapter 35, and later during Uddhava's visit to Vrindavan, chapter 47.
Oh, something happened? Can everyone still hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I just cut out then. And later during Uddhava's visit to Vrindavan. Yeah, so you see that the gopis didn't all sit down in meditation when the Krishna left. They were chanting his glories, yeah? They were chanting and hearing and chanting Shravanam, Kirtanam. All right. What's this time check? 10 minutes. Great. So you can read another verse if you like.
Yep. Dearer to the Lord even than his own beautiful form, his easily worshipped holy name benefits the entire world. Indeed, nothing is as full of nectar as the holy name of the Lord. Commentary. In conclusion, the Vaikuntha Dutas wholeheartedly glorify Sri Bhagavan Nama Sankirtan. Sankirtan is all attractive, with all power, beauty, and opulence. It exerts its powerful influence over anyone who takes part in it, anywhere and any time. The Lord of Vaikuntha himself is more attracted to his holy name than to his own supreme beauty. The Supreme Lord may indeed regard something as more dear than his own transcendental form. For example, in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14-15, Krishna told Uddhava, "Neither Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Sankarshan, the goddess of fortune, nor indeed my own self is as dear to me as you. The holy name of the Lord is incomparable. Nothing else can equal or surpass it. The holy name is the Lord's supreme blessing for the world's welfare, benefiting everyone, properly qualified or not, who serves it with any of the senses. Who serves it with any of the senses. It is easily worshipped, requiring only some movement of the tip of the tongue, and it is sarasa, full of ras, a term that can be understood in several ways. Saras can mean very gentle, since the holy names consist of sweet-sounding syllables. It can also mean composed of pure spiritual substance, Satchidananda, or it can mean that the holy names are accompanied by all the various devotional relationships, the 9 rasas, headed by Shringar Madhurya Ras. In the pure chanting of the holy names, all these varieties of prema ras are manifest in the moods of both separation, viraha, and meeting, sangha. Rasa also means attraction to Krishna, raga, which devotees performing Sankirtan unavoidably experience as their Krishna prema is rapidly evoked by the holy names. In other words, the Lord Sankirtan inspires his servants and everyone else to become attracted to the Lord. Rasa also means special potency, virya vishesha. The chanting of the holy names is extremely powerful, and rasa can mean exceptional quality, guna vishesha, indicating that in the present context that Namasankirtan has the power to deliver the most fallen persons in the world. Rasa also means exceptional happiness, sukha vishesha. Harinam is the most concentrated essence of happiness, and it also means exceptional sweetness, madhurya vishesha. Namasankirtan is often glorified for its sweetness, as in this famous verse from the Prabhasa Kanda of the Skanda Purana. O best of the Bhrigu dynasty, the holy name of Krishna is the sweetest of the sweet, the most auspicious of the auspicious. The transcendental fruit of all the Vedas is purely spiritual. Whoever chants it but once, whether with faith or with contempt, is liberated. Even more meanings of the word rasa could be applied to interpreting this verse, but the above examples give at least some understanding of the greatness of Sankirtan.
Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Jai.
Jai.
So wonderful glorification. I was just trying to find one verse. I'm trying to learn at the moment in regards to the holy name. That's it. I can't find it. But it's, yeah, anyway, any questions or comments about this? Or what can you say? This is the essence of the essence of the essence. The holy name is everything. Everything can be realized through the holy name, as we have been discussing. think I'm trying to find a verse to just paraphrase it, where Rupa Goswami explains that he does not know how much nectar is contained within the two syllables Krishna.
Krishna, yeah.
Krishna. Yeah. As soon as one chants it, he desires to have many, many mouths. Or he desires to have many ears and millions of mouths. It's just to experience that Krishna is dancing on the tongue. So Rupa Goswami explains like that. So this is perfectional stages of chanting. This is obviously speaking about Sudanam and different stages that as we have discussed in chanting. There's Namaparad, and there's what's the name for the clearance stage? Namaparad.
Namabas.
Namabas, thank you. And then Shudanam. Yeah. But how do you get to Shudanam? You have to start somewhere. Yeah. So here we're seeing some of the perfections of chanting. All right. Any questions or comments?
Can't hear you.
Say again. Your voice broke up there.
About
Oh.
Kimpabo, this, how they everywhere it's getting connected to the Bhakti Chintamani, even Chaitanya Charitamrita, for so much connection that you can talk about, because it's speaking about all Sankirtan movement totally.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much here. It's a bit stunning, actually. That's why I mean, everything in this explanation from Gopi Pranadhan, his explanation is just wonderful. And this is the wonder of Sanatana Goswami as well. I mean, this whole drama of Brihad Bhagavatamrta is there to manifest the glories of the holy name. Yeah. And it's done in such a wonderful way.
Just for this service, honestly, I feel he would have definitely gone back to Godhead. Prabhupada would have taken just for this service.
Just for, you mean Sanatana Goswami, just for doing this?
No, I'm talking about Purandar. Gopi
Pranadhan.
Oh, Gopi Pranadhan, for sure. Yeah. And he left the world in Govardhan. So
in the Govardhan.
there's no doubts where he
was all the way in Malaysia, somewhere in the Far East, doing some service, and he came. He said, "I want to go," and he came in that flat he left. So it's like it's a very amazing. Yeah,
he's done a great service to the Vaishnav community, to our ISKCON community. Wonderful service left the Brihad Bhagavatamrta.
Mm-hmm.
So a question on that.
Please,
You hear, when you out there and down Mayapur, you see so many devotees doing so much, and you
doing so much
service in different ways.
Yeah.
Even book distribution, anything, cooking, dressing, cleaning, garlands, everything.
Yeah.
And then you go thinking, oh, I'm doing okay, but you're not doing okay. See. So what do you do, when you're feeling like there's so many devotees, doing so much, you're not doing anything really.
Well, that's a healthy mindset.
We
should never think we're doing enough. It's a good, humble mindset, to see how much others are absorbed in devotion. And we should develop that type of humility. And that will please the Lord, because it's a fact. I mean, what are we doing compared to the great Vaishnavas that we're reading about? What's our bhajan compared to the bhajan of Raghunath Das Goswami or Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, or even some of our contemporary spiritual masters? Yeah. So there's plenty to be humble about, considering. But that's good to develop that. It's much more healthy to develop. Sometimes we have this, devotees get distracted by modern management type ethos to think you're the best and you can do it. But no, we should think we're the lowest. As I was watching a little clip for Govinda Swami Maharaj, he's saying we should think that all the Vaishnavas are above us. We are below everyone. So that's good. It's good. That's why it's good to come and see hundreds of devotees, and you feel humbled in their association. Yeah, this is favorable. It's favorable for bhava. It said it's favorable for developing love. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with what you're thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking,
Yeah.
gosh, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
That's the that's also the wonderful mystery of spiritual life. You can feel like that you're getting nowhere.
It's never enough.
Yeah. So we've got plenty to do.
Yeah. I
All
got
right.
somebody was baking, and they said, "Oh, you can come and bake." And my mind's like, I'm here to really concentrate on my chanting and reading and hearing.
Yeah, that was in Vrindavan, huh?
Yeah.
Come and bake a cake or something.
Like can come and help with the baking, and I'm like, oh.
You say, I've done that, now I'm here for...
I just want this month to be on my other spiritual things,
Yeah, nice.
But
I need to do.
Prabhu, I have a
Yes.
question with that comment, Prabhu. If
Yes.
someone says like that, if you say no, what is the best, Prabhu?
No,
No, I'm
don't
just
say
asking.
no. I didn't say no, but I didn't want to get into that service, because that
Yeah.
means then I can't go for I prefer to go to bed early
Yeah,
and do Prabhupada
it's-
Mangalarti,
Yeah, I
it's,
understand, Mataji, but I was asking, what is the best way? How we are going to
again,
analyze?
it's time, place, and circumstance. Say, here's an example. Mother Chandravali is doing wonderful service in a temple. Now she's in Vrindavan. She wants to do more bhajan. So someone comes to ask her, do you want to do some cooking? So for her, no. The more
Yeah,
she's
that's
got
not the priority.
specific type of bhajan, specific more hours with hearing and chanting. But another circumstance, if there's a young brahmachari in a temple and the temple commander asks, so please can you help unload the van? And he says no.
That's
In
different.
that circumstance, it would be wrong. In that time, in that case, in that circumstance, it would be the wrong answer.
Yeah.
So it depends.
Depends on the priority. Yeah.
It depends on the depends on the specific situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Let's stop there. So wonderful. Very happy to again, one of my favorite readings is the Brihad Bhagavatamrta. So very happy to again dive into this. And next we'll be getting together on Wednesday for Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, because Monday will be busy.
Monday, yeah.
Is that okay?
You'll be flowing flowers. You'll be flowing flower petals everywhere.
Flowers are not till 7:25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though we're reading, but we're hoping all of us are going to be engaged in cooking. Is that okay with everybody? I'm trying to get everybody to come cooking.
Yes.
On that day.
Good.
Good for Londonishwar.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop there. And, thank you everyone for joining us. And
The Londonishwar will be missing Murli Prabhu.
yeah,
Yes.
I shall be listening. I shall be watching online much as I can. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Obeisance.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Murli
Ram.
Manavara ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Hare Bol.